the part of France that the Vikings invaded, because what happened is the Vikings were raiding all over the place because they were running out of land. And they went up to England, and then the English, that they weren't English people yet, started pushing them back out. So they started coming down into France, and they took over what is now Normandy. And then they started going down to Paris, and they tried to invade Paris, but they couldn't quite get there. Because this really cool guy who was the mayor of Paris at the time, named Odo, actually pushed them back, because the Merovingian kings were all super incompetent. I think it was like one of them was like named the Fat or the Bald or the Stupid, or like they all had terrible
France had been like Gaul at that point?
Yeah, well, not quite. Like, because it had, like, this was after Charlemagne, right? But all his, Charlemagne's...
the great Charlemagne.
All of Charlemagne's ancestors were kind of incompetent and fought amongst themselves. But basically, I can't remember which king it was, basically cut them a deal that he'd let them have Normandy. And then the Vikings lived there. And that's why you had the Norman invasion of 1066, because they came back because they'd been pushed out of England. And then because of Arthur the Great and his ancestors just managed to unify most of it. And like get the Danelaw under their control, and the Vikings left, and then they came back a couple hundred years later, and this time it was personal. Good. I've been listening to a podcast on the history of the English language, and you learn a lot of English history.
Right, because of course people attacking back and forth is what changes the language.
And why English is such a mess, because you have French words, Viking words, Celtic words, Germanic sort of mother tongue words all mixed in there. Anyhow, that was a really, really bad history of a couple hundred years of England.
That's why I'd like to conjugate or spell any English word, you first need to know its root, whether it actually what the source was.